Hello and welcome everybody to the second part of Secret Scriptures of Isaac's battle theme from the first Golden Sun. The first part I talked about everything that is in the original track, link in the description, and on the second part I'll talk about my cover. So I'll walk you through everything I did in the cover, how I arranged everything, and link to the cover is in the description as well. Alright, let's get started! Alright, welcome back to the session. This is now the session of my cover with all the guitar tracks and everything in it, and I'm gonna walk you through all the things I did one by one. Everything that I changed, all the harmonies that I added. Spoiler, there's gonna be quite a lot of them, because I love harmonies. They make everything sound better. I tend to overdo it, but I love it, so that's why I did it. And I also had a drummer over that I plugged in the last video as well. Mike, he's an amazing dude. He just shows up and plays some random stuff, and in the end there's something I would have never imagined that's there. So yeah, let's just start with, playing the whole thing of it. So yeah, as you could hear, right in the beginning, the intensity is already up quite a bit. We started off with quite some frantic drum stuff. So basically kind of double tempo from what the original is. And in the intro we have the two lead guitars, which are the main ones. So I have like the main one, which is the synth line, doubled up with another one. Which I think sounds really cool. Then right into marker 1 and 2. First let's go into the bass guitar, which I've kept basically the same as the original, but just made it metal, which sounds like this. I love that bass sound, it's really gnarly. So it's basically the same as the original, and I have quite a few tracks there. It's few distorted ones, and they blend together to make this sound. So this is basically just like the original, so I'm not gonna talk about it all too much. What I did was double the whole thing up with rhythm guitars. So we have an 8-string guitar going that does the same thing as a bass guitar does, which sounds like this. Are these two tracks here. Which sounds pretty gnarly. I like that. Alright. And these two basically play pretty much the same as the bass guitar does. So this is just a doubling up of the bass guitar. Then the drums in part 2 are pretty basic for the beginning, I'd say. They built on what the original has, but keep it quite similar to the original, I guess. The original was only kick and snare anyways, but the beat is kind of the same. So just the accents on the cymbals and kick and snare going in a way that makes sense, with little fills in between. Now going to the right. So yeah, pretty basic on the drums for now. And then we have the melody going, as soon as it stops loading, thank you. Which is like the original, which is already harmonized in the original. Like this. Is it actually? I think I've changed the harmony a little bit. Let's check the original real quick. Which would be this thing. Oh yeah, that's what it is. So I've changed up the harmony quite a little bit. And I've also added another harmony which comes in sometimes. so which makes it 3 harmonies. You can always see the second harmony come in there. So there's a few parts here that have the harmony. Starts off with the harmony in, then it drops out for a few bars here, then a little bit here, drops out again, bit here, drops out again, bit here. You'll hear it. As I said, I love harmonies. And I think these ones sound really cool here. And then we have some more leads. These ones are basically what the synth pad plays, but separated into 2 guitar parts. So it's not like I always play both on the same guitar track, but I separated both lines up into 2 different guitar tracks. And all these tracks, by the way, are left and right. So you hear the same thing once on the left side and once on the right side. I mean, there's quite a lot of reverb in this, so it seems like it's not as far off, but yeah. There's always a left and a right side, and then this is the part I was talking about. These 2 make up 4 tracks, basically, which make up the pad sound. And I've chosen quite a dark sound for those, because I wanted to have them sound totally different, and they're just a texture element, like the pad was. You can hear a lot of these dives. So that's just the tremolo bar on a guitar. So here on marker 3, first the drums, which are basically like before, close to the original, bit different. So not too much to say here. Same with the bass. Just love the sound of both of these. Same with the rhythm guitars. We just follow bass again. Like this. Let's try and double as well. And then we got the melody lines. So first we got the main one. And you can hear a lot of these dives with a tremolo bar again. I put in lots of these small embellishments in there, which are like slides into the notes, then little dive bump going down. So just to make the whole line sound a bit more human, because I mean, I played it and I'm human, kind of. So that makes sense, I guess. Whatever that was. And there's also a harmony over that, which follows kind of the same pattern with the dives and everything, so they flow together nicely. And then as the next part we have the main guitar line there. So it's this part. So here we have the main lead, which I've harmonized as well, which is the thing that the Pan Flute usually plays, and obviously it's played on the electric guitar, and it's harmonized with a second electric guitar. And there we actually have like one track in the middle, and one left, one right for the main ones, because I treat them kind of like vocals, so they like should sit in the middle because they're the main lead, and then left and right doubles for the harmony as well, which sounds like this. Which I think is a pretty cool harmony. and it's pretty crazy to play that. So yeah, it's a bit sloppy, I know. Some of the parts are a bit sloppy. Sorry for that. Might replay them before I actually release the song, which is gonna happen sometime. It's gonna be on Spotify, link in the description, blah blah. You know the drill. But yeah. And then of course, lead guitars again. These are the pad sounds again, basically. And off to the next part. We have a third one coming in. I really like how these stuck together there, because you have all these dives again. Which I really like for parts like this, because they give the whole thing a bit of a different vibe than the original had. Because in the original it was more static. Just this. Cool chords and everything. But I like it more when it flows a bit more like with the trem bar and stuff. Alright. So, what's next? Let's talk about the melody there again. That part, the main melody, the main motif. So you might have noticed more of these little embellishments, slide into the notes, bends, and at the end this very crazy bend. And I did the same with the harmony on this, so together it sounds like this. I've always been a sucker for these weird, crazy, bending endings. I've always loved that, so I went crazy with these here as well. Which probably doesn't really sound as melodic, but it's just a bit of a chaos at the end, which I really like to have as a transition into the next part. Alright. Then here in the next part, for rhythm and bass guitars, we got this again. Which I think lends itself to the doubling of guitars and bass really well. We also have the polyrhythm thing going here with a different sound. But that one is buried pretty far in the background. You can't really hear it. But that is because I've shifted the main focus on another instrument, which is not the guitar and not the bass this time, so there's only the drums left. But first, let's cover the rest of the leads here. So, we got the bendy part after half of this part. It starts with this sad thing. Which leads into the next part, which is the repeat, but we'll talk about that later. Also, as we had before, there is these synth pad lead sounds again. So it starts here actually, but it's the same. Lots of these dives again, in all three lines. And then, as I said, the focus on this whole part, if we listen to the 2 bars before it, going into this, the focus on something different. It's on the drums. I really dig what he did there, because there was space for the drums. And he just came up with this. This sounds so cool. with the ending fill. So if we solo that thing out, it sounds like this. And here comes this part. These little splash of sounds and everything in the middle, so he went really creative with this part. This part took him quite a bit to come up with, because it's just been playing around while he was at my place, trying to figure out what to play here, and this is what came up. So I like the creativity of his drumming mind. It's really cool there. And now a little word from the man himself, talking about this part and what he thought about it. Here's Mikey! Stage is yours, my dude!
I play drums.
So yeah, and after this part, the whole thing repeats. Oh yeah, right, I saw the marker here that says don't delete, because there is another harmony over the main lead here, which is, these are the main leads, and we got this little harmony there as well. So all in all there's now 4 harmonies, or basically 1 melody and 3 harmonies going over each other. It sounds like this. So it's even more overloaded than it was before. And last but not least, there is one small thing I want to talk about before we come to the outro, which is not too much to talk about. Anyway, here at Mark 9, which is the repeat of the drum break part, or basically the bass break actually, but here it's kind of a drum break. And there, when it repeats a second time, I added a guitar solo. So first let's listen to the whole thing, and then I'll solo the guitar solo. So yeah, and this was the outro. As I said, not too much to say about the outro. So here's the guitar solo. We start off with a single guitar in the middle, and then harmonies over the main one, back to the single in the middle, and back to harmonies left and right. Yeah, I just wanted to add a solo there because I didn't want to have the same thing repeat again, so why not add a solo to have something else at the second repeat? So whole thing again. Let's turn the solo up a little. Where do we have them? Subgrooves. Solo, solo. Okay. So, turned up, it sounds like this. And yeah, at the outro there's not too much to say. We've got basically a small repeat of the whole thing. So it starts with this, like this, and the lead guitar is going over that, and drums play the difference, and then it ends. That's it basically. So for the drums real quick, that's what the drums play. Good ending, I guess, or fitting ending, put it that way. Cheap, but good, works. Working ending is a good ending. Yeah. So much for this whole thing. This is what I did in the cover. As you've seen, I've added a few harmonies in there, here and there, because I just love to add harmonies, because I want to make all my versions a bit different from the original, but also keep it as close to the original as I can. Which means adding lots of harmonies, because that's kind of close to the original, and as I just said, it's something a bit different. And I think, like, harmonies kind of make your voice as a songwriter. So yeah, this is what I was going for with this. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please let me know in the comments down below. I have dropped the cover in the comments down below as well. If you haven't seen the first part, check it out. It's down below as well. Because in the first part, I talked about all the things that work in the original, all the MIDI tracks, and everything that basically, like the Game of Mount sounds, basically. That's what I'm talking about in the first one. And yeah, leave a comment down below what you want me to do next, if you enjoyed it, if you want to see more like that. If you don't care about my covers and just want the other, if you don't care at all and just want to tell me you hate me, you can do that in the comments down below as well. Alright, thank you so much for watching, see you next time, bye, and servus! Alright, that was an outro. Was der Trigger von der Trommel?
Haken. Fix.
Das ist das Orgel, das schaffst du bei keiner anderen Gitarre gescheit.
Das stimmt.
Das heißt, ich kann da oben wirklich Arpeggios spielen auch.
Geil. Und ich kann Take on Me spielen.
Geil.
Outtake. Dafür kauft man sich eine Drumbreak Gitarre.
I don't know what's left to say, I say it anyway.